And welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector podcast, 6040 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I am, as always, Alex Midways, and welcome. We missed you guys since Tuesday.
So getting ready for the holiday season. What's your favorite Christmas movie, big guy?
Don't have one. Honestly, it's just another day, to be completely honest.
Well, I agree. It is just another day. It just happens to be a really expensive one because capitalism killed Christ. So the correct answer was Scrooged with Bill Murray, by the way.
I mean, you decided to go get married, so that's on you. Your parents didn't get it right with only one child, so that's on them. And we no longer celebrate capitalistic holidays, so we're awesome.
Huh. All right.
I mean, I'll watch Die Hard, I guess.
Yeah. Do you find Die Hard to be a Christmas movie?
The guy who made the thing said it's a Christmas movie. It's made on Christmas.
Bruce Willis said it is not.
Oh, okay. Did he write the plot?
Fun fact about that movie. The book that it's based on is about 12% of what happened in that movie.
I mean, it's 12 of the best percent,
It's
apparently.
really based on a book, not really a book.
Like, what book is this? This is the first I hear about it.
It's Netflix had it on the Movies That Made Us. It was some weird book from the 60s or something that they converted, and then it just got passed around and changed, until eventually they're like, what if Bruce Willis, we can sell America, he's an action star. And you know what? They knocked that out of the park.
What was he before?
More of a comedic, romantic guy from a show called Moonlighting.
Wasn't in this country back then.
Honestly, as far as ADTVs go, you weren't missing much, except for the cartoons. Cartoons, you took a giant L on. 80s cartoons were the best.
I mean, we did just fine with, what's it called, Moose and Squirrel. Now, we actually had a little cartoon down there. It was called New Buggadee. It's a wolf chasing a rabbit, I believe. And it was, you didn't need to be very smart. And all we did, we just essentially tried to chase each other. It's kind of like a Soviet Tom and Jerry. The Simpsons did a thing on it a couple times.
And sounds more like a Russian version of Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote.
Sounds like you guys stole a lot of things from the Soviet Union.
Yeah, how do you say copyright infringement in Russia?
You don't.
We just don't recognize your copyright.
Yeah, we're gonna get into a whole.
Welcome to Russian Warner Brothers.
Yeah. It's a lot of Russian coming up, so let's just skip over Christmas, get done with this, slide down a dinosaur, and get one day closer to Friday. It's Tesla ticker. We went from 489. It hit a little bit of a low today at 467. Went right back up to 488. One analyst who was looking at the Tesla stock today had the wildest reasoning to justify it. And according to the Motley Fool, they said the reason that it's actually gone up a little bit is because Tesla went ahead and sold 1,000 or even 2,000 Cybertrucks to SpaceX. And also, the follow-up comment to that was, math suggests that Tesla has trouble selling Cybertrucks to customers that Elon doesn't own. Like, I don't know why you need to be an analyst for this.
So I'm just gonna toss this out, and I could be way off. You're the brains of the operation. So Elon owns Tesla and SpaceX.
Yep.
Okay. So if it's not so much that he's selling the Cybertrucks to SpaceX, he's just sort of taking them and giving them to SpaceX.
As far as accounting purposes go, he is selling them. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's even above my pay grade, but it's kind of similar to the whole Ouroboros thing we did on OpenAI, ChatGPT, and NVIDIA investing millions and billions of dollars into each other. That is just one big giant circle.
Okay, but so let's say for accounting purposes, they are selling these Cybertrucks. I'm guessing they're selling them at cost, not MSRP.
They can put down whatever number they want, whichever one works out great for them. A lot of times when a company itself is doing, it has a part of it that's doing bad, they'll break that part off and give them all the debt, and then that company files for bankruptcy while the big giant stays on. I don't think this is happening here. But creative accounting is not something I'm familiar with, just the concept of it.
Okay, but all right, so we can assume there's no profit, true profit in selling Cybertrucks to his own company.
No, other than the fact that you said you moved 1,000, possibly 2,000 units when you first were screaming, that I'm gonna sell 250,000 of these a year.
Okay, cool. So no profit added to the company, which would explain why it jumps, 20 points. Okay, got it. It's a huge scam.
Yeah, you forgot that Elon Musk did this, and
Oh,
anytime,
oh, that's right. That guy's never done anything wrong or bad
yeah,
or failed.
like if his podcast fails, I'm just gonna become a stock analyst for Tesla. And be like, Elon's still breathing this morning. Like, cool, make it go up.
Wake up, take a piss, and be like, it's gonna rise. And then go right back to sleep. Guy's a genius. Is this guy Eric Halsey an oracle?
Tesla Cybertruck kills 17 school kids. Like, I'm betting against the market. It's going up, boys.
Kids don't buy cars. It's going up.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just see that there's 17 less school kids for other Cybertrucks to hit. So that is a positive.
Sounds like 17 groups of parents that no longer have a giant ball of debt hanging off their neck there.
So you have this one piggy bank here that's titled College Fund. So I see that's now liquid funds. So in the world of all these investors or these analysts, another guy named William Blair. No, it's actually Jed Dorschmeyer. He's the head of a research group over at William Blair. He said Tesla's being viewed as more of on autonomy and energy. It, in relation to the auto sales, really only represents about $30 to $40 per share in that business. Like, the thing about it though, Jed, like, their auto sales account for 75% of the money that they bring in. And their actual, like, right now, what you think, the price per share, it's less than 10% of what it is. But the revenue is what actually gives them money currently. Like, why are we speculating so hard on something that hasn't happened from a guy who's been telling you it's going to happen for the past 10 years? And it hasn't.
Yeah, I had a old back when I was a young buck, just entering the workforce. I had a old timer tell me when I said I had potential. He said potential is just a fancy word for you ain't done S yet. And I feel like if that guy's still alive, I should call him and be like, guess what, idiot? Turns out potential's the only thing that matters.
You need to find that man and spit in his face.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, essentially, like, what it kind of equates to me is kind of like a gambler's fallacy. It's when you sit down at the roulette table and you kept betting on an exact number, and you're like, well, the law of averages means this thing's it's bound to hit, and every time it doesn't hit, it's a bigger chance for it to hit next time. Like, well, no, every time you spin that stupid wheel, the number is exactly the same. Over the course of 1,000,000 spins, yeah, it's going to relate closer to those numbers, but not while you're at the table. But people keep investing in it like, well, he keeps saying it's going to be this year, autonomous driving. Like, this is the year.
Yeah, I will always put my whole stack on Black 24. And one time it's going to pay out and you're going to look like the idiot.
I love those guys coming to the table. I'm going to keep betting either like evens or odds, 47% chance of hitting. Pretty good odds.
Yeah, that is 100% the way to go. But also put everything on Black 24.
All on Tesla.
Yeah.
So, let's kick it overseas for Ukraine. We got a lot to get over to. There's a lot of people in Europe right now meeting. And Kaja Kallas, the EU foreign policy chief, said that the negotiations have been rather one-sided. Like, I don't know, man. I could have told you. We've been saying this nonstop. Like, Russia doesn't want to negotiate, dude. Like, it's one thing during World War II, like the Nazis and the Allies would actually take breaks and hang out, like, on Christmas Day. And they didn't have Die Hard to watch, but they played soccer with each other before just trying to murder the other side the next day. And when they asked St. Putin about it, he's like, no. He's like, we continue fighting. Like, the reason is because he's never on the front lines. Like, he only sees them in, like, his little history books, and that's it.
Yeah, 100% they're going to launch a massive attack on Christmas Day. Like, Christmas morning. It will be, like, 7 a.m., when all the little kids are coming up to the little twig from whatever tree's left in their village, and that's when the drones are coming. Not a doubt in my mind.
We talked about it, about them launching one on Easter.
Yeah, it's classic villain. He's definitely attacking Hugh. I'm going to speculate, like Tesla stock, that the onslaught's going to rise on December 25th.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty safe bet to make. That doesn't have a plus in front of it. MGM's taking action.
They don't call me the Oracle for nothing.
Yeah. The whole thing is like what's happening in Brussels. They're all meeting down there because there's about $200 billion in assets that they are considering kind of opening up and using to pay for war because war is not cheap. Putin's whole view on it is like EU's not all on the same page. They're not going to be able to do this because if they did, then it's not going to look too bad for him. His whole it's not going to look too good for him. His whole policy is just to keep this thing grinding, and he's got a lot more people. Like at the end of the day, Ukraine is a much smaller country, so them losing 1,000 soldiers is going to matter a whole lot more. Whereas Russia can just pull them all out of Siberia. You don't even notice that loss in your local town. You're like, oh yeah, keep this thing going, rock and roll.
Yeah, that's one of the joys of having a sociopath at the top of your food chain is that people are just numbers. So eat it. Whereas Zelensky is fighting for the people.
Yeah.
Also, that seems a little misleading because as far as negotiations going being one-sided, because from everything I can tell, Russia has a whole laundry list of things that they want to stop the ceasefire, whereas Ukraine's only written down go away on their side. So it might be a little misleading how you said it's one side.
Yeah, like hey man, just get out of here.
Dude, why? And I'm not going to be the one who tell the honey badger how to do his job, but has he considered matching the insanity and being like, fine, you want a ceasefire? I want all of Moscow. Like we're already there. We already pretty much control it, so it's just ours now. Look at this ancient letter I found that I made up on ChatGPT. Just go crazy back.
It's very similar to like how we have Trump operating in this country. Like he can scream nuttiness, but if Biden one day is like, I forgot something, he's like, my God, that guy's way too old to be president. Trump's like, confefe, like it's 4:00 in the morning, like, oh well, like let the guy keep rolling.
Prices are down 600%. Like, oh, that's just how Grandpa talks. Like, no, that's slipping into senility.
It's fine if Grandpa's talking on his little TV show on NBC and everything else. Like, but again, he's got nuclear launch codes. Like, and he's effing with my insurance.
Oh, don't worry. When Newsom takes office, it'll all go back to the way things used to be.
Well, this guy's gonna go scorched earth if he loses control of the actual Senate and it's not gonna work out well. Like they gave him a green light. Like, can I be persecuted for anything? He's like, no. He's like, oh my God, what about SEAL Team 6? Like, we raised that exact question, sir. Like, you're good.
Just means whoever's next can do the Lord's work and just wipe this whole family out of our history book.
I'm not gonna be a next. But back to this whole thing first. About speaking of next, like the whole thing about the assets. If EU actually does this whole thing where they release the assets, where they all vote together, it's a hard chance of that happening. But if they did do that, that would actually send a message to Putin. Like, he's over here thinking he can outlast everybody because the other side's divided. Like, if EU says, like, hey, man, we're all hanging out together, like, we're going to F with you for a very long time. Like, that's going to make a lot of people angry in Putin's, like, Russia. Like, the oligarchs are going to get a little bit upset. And while most of them kind of know the guy, they also love their money. And if there's one thing oligarchs hate, it's losing money. And losing $200 billion might be a quicker way to regime change than what Trump's doing in Venezuela. They could write a lesson plan on that.
Yeah, honestly, if the EU just came together and just all voted for one, or at least get like 80% of it. Does it have to be unanimous? Do you know?
I did not look into that one. It might be. I mean, when it comes to $200 billion,
I'm guessing it does. Yeah. Yeah. But let's say you even get to 70% agreement, right? Like the Germans are in it, the British are in it. Oh, it's everybody. You have to look at it as like, all right, Russia said they'd be done with this war in 3 days. We are slowly coming up on year 4.
Yeah.
Like how much more can you lose? And then you have this army behind you of, every other European country. Like, oh, we don't need Trump to help end this thing. Get your S together, Europe.
Well, first of all, Orban's definitely not going to vote for this thing because he's on that bus. Switzerland.
I said the real countries.
I mean, he stored a couple of his nukes down there, but well, it's another one that he's Belarus. he's storing a couple nukes down there. So if they'll probably vote no against it. So who knows? But that's a long way off. Don't really know about that one. That could go any way, but we'll see what happens this week.
Yeah. What? We're December 18th. Yeah. We're like what? Exactly 7 days away from a giant Christmas massacre. So hope Europe, this is your calling card. Where are all those Christians we need? Stand up. Come on.
Well, speaking of a Christian, it's one thing you might be hearing about today is there's a lot of Russian Orthodox priests hanging out in D.C. today, and they're like, oh, Zelensky's out there persecuting Christians. And the same thing that they did for every other country. And if there's one way to rile up the far right, it's to say someone's murdering like Christians. So let's get a few things straight right now. Like, yes, Ukraine did get rid of a Ukrainian Orthodox Church. That's because it is essentially the Russian Orthodox Church, but in Ukraine. Like, the guy who runs the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Kirill, he's a staunch supporter of the Ukraine war. Like, I don't know too many religious guys who are like, yeah, war's the answer. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, he's called this thing a holy war, and it's against Western decadence. But I've got a question there, Kirill. Like, what the F are you doing in the capital of Western decadence asking for this war to end? Like, which one is it?
Yeah, well, all Bibles. I'm assuming Russian Orthodox is still at least close to a Christian Bible,
It technically is, but the one thing about it is when the Soviet Union took over, one thing they did was get rid of religion. Putin's since rebuilt kind of religion with a little bit of a KGB twist to it. A lot of it actually works for the state. So it's not true religion. It's government-funded religion.
Oh, okay. Well, then while they're over here trying to drum up support for Russia, maybe all of our American first Christians need to come out and tell them about our ancient scrolls that say we're supposed to be cool to one another.
Well, at this point, they're going to show those guys their ancient scrolls with dollar signs on them. It's like, how about you read a couple of these? It's like, you know what? I'm all about this Ukraine's the aggressor thing. Rock and roll.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like religion's just an cross to hide behind while you do terrible things. Weird.
So if you needed a bigger cross to hide behind, you really can't find anyone better than Patriarch Kirill. Like, when Russia developed the Oreshnik cruise missile, he had no issues with it. He actually hated it. He personally has not come out and said that he's all about blessing weapons, but he's got no problems with priests blessing guns. And on the topic of nuclear weapons, he said they're ineffable divine providence, essentially a gift from God. That's how we got nukes. And did you know that they have a saint for their nuclear arsenal?
Please tell me more.
It is Saint Seraphim of Sarov. Sarov is actually the town where the Soviet Union developed it. And I was like, no effing way. Like, this is actually true. Then I had to Google. I'm like, who is this guy? And he is best known for extending the monastic teachings of contemplation, theoria, and self-denial to the layperson, to the pores. So he's just essentially the first known example in history of not pushing that giant red button. That's who he's a saint of. The easy button from, what is it, Staples?
Okay, so Putin's attacking Ukraine because he found an ancient doctrine saying it was part of Russia, but Russia's religion was created, and I'm assuming 1985.
I have no idea, but this is going to...
Did Whitesnake play the...
Actually, this segment's going to sound a lot better with Benny Hill music when you try to wrap it all together, so...
Oh my God, and I thought the Mormons were simpletons, because some guy was like, yeah, check this out, God talked to me. He said I get to marry 4 chicks. Dumb.
It's all over the place, but... To wrap up everything about that, I do want to mention that you can still observe Christianity in Ukraine. It hasn't stopped. Just they stopped the fact that the priests there are related to Russia and were providing intel to Russians. Oh, for all of you saying oh, that's just BS. The church is independent. All throughout history, church has never had anything to do. First of all, the Crusades. And second of all, the full name of the Church of Ukrainian Orthodox, It was called Ukrainian Orthodox Church of Moscow Patriarch. Like, it literally has Moscow in the effing name. Like, it was underneath of it. Like, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, that's I'd kick it out too. I don't know what to tell you guys. If our national church here in the United States was like Blessed Sacrament of Mary via, southern Brazil, like,
Yeah.
like get this out of here. This is America.
Like, it's written in the name. It's like, hey, man, we work for Russia. Hooray. Like, oh, the guy's sending the rockets to your people. Like, oh, we should get him out of here. It's like, no. But then you're just persecuting Christians. No.
Stop treating people unfairly as I launch drones into your towns.
Just hurry up and die. This war will be over.
The way God wanted it, clearly.
Yeah. So let's switch this bad boy over to all politics is local. And the U.S. Senate has went ahead and passed a defensive budget. So we now have a defense. Most of this is going to Israel, but it is what it is. They are still talking about the whole thing of telling the Secretary of War and a part-time Maybelline tester, Pete Hegseth, to turn over those videos. And they're really coming after him hard. Again, they're holding back 25% of his travel budget. Like, it's not even 50%. Like, I try to look around there and I try to find out what his actual budget is, but it never said anything. But when you tell somebody, like, I'm taking 25% of your benefits away, like, that's not going to get them to change. Like, it's if you punish your kid and be like, hey, man, I'm taking away one of your PS5 controllers. I still got the other one. He's like, yeah. Like, can I still turn it on? Like, yeah. I was like, okay. Like nothing's changing.
Yeah. Well, tough on crime. At least they're being transparent about only taking a quarter.
Like, when did they come up with 25%? Like, well, we don't want Trump just tweeting that we should all die. Like, but we have to do something and act tough. Like, I don't know, take a 25%, give him 75%. Like, he doesn't have to turn this thing over until about 3/4 of a year, like, into it when he runs out of it. And then he's just like, well, I'm someone else is flying. I'm just booking a ride with him.
Yeah, honestly, they're treating this like they're doing with Putin. We're like, we're going to sanction you. Give us a couple weeks, and then we're like, you can't. We're not sending you Brita filters anymore. You're like, what?
I am going to F with the second and third largest oil producer in your country. Like, the first one's fine. Like, yeah, we're not touching that one. Okay, guys.
Like, okay, cool. Thanks for the sanction. This is like a cop. This is pulling you over for drunk driving and causing a giant accident, giving you a warning, and then you have to act sad. Like, it makes no sense. This is what happens when you have no repercussions.
It's like, you can only drive for 1 hour less of a day. It's like, but I can still drive drunk. He's like, well, I don't see any issues with that. Just, it's 1 hour less in a day. Like, okay.
Nobody could stop you if we tried, sir.
That'd be un-American.
Unbelievable.
But the bill was actually rare bipartisan action. One of the things they got rid of in there was the DEI initiatives, but it also stopped them at DOD from spending funds to, like, rebrand the DOD to the Department of War thing. And I would imagine within a certain amount of time, we'd be putting, like, flaming skulls, like angry dragons and snakes everywhere. Like, things a 4-year-old would find hilarious.
Department of Defense brought to you by Affliction.
Why isn't Monster, like, sponsoring our troops yet? Like, how far away are we from that?
Buddy, I cannot wait until you get the next letter you get from the Marines has, like, the Red Bull logo attached to the bottom of it.
Technically, we weren't name brand. We were just, there was a drink called Rip It, and anybody who did time overseas knows about Rip It, and that stuff I'm fairly sure was meth. So, and the next letter that I better get from the freaking Marine Corps was a sweet 1776 bonus that Trump was talking about. And you know what? Once a Marine, always a Marine. So I'm looking forward to cashing those bad boys after my Doge check comes in, my tariffs come in, and everything else comes in. But I got bad news for anybody who's either abroad or a little bit shade off from white. Like, you are not getting those because he called that thing a warrior's dividend.
Well, fun thing about that, during his incoherent rambling that in the middle of the Survivor finale, he said when he started talking about this warrior dividend, He said, I thought of this 30 minutes ago. Nobody had any idea. This is all me. It made me think for a second, like, how is that possible? Because according to our laws, which supposedly we still have here, the president just can't dip into our country's cash pile or crippling debt, depending on who you ask, and distribute it however he wants. It's just not something he can do. Well, not something any other loser president could do. This is our guy, Trump. Rules don't apply. So, technically, to the law, Congress has to appropriate funds to certain departments. So, unless Dozy Don is self-funding this bad boy, which you know how the rich are with their money, it's never happening, right? So I did a little research. Turns out the $2.9 billion to cover this Christmas bonus was actually already appropriated to the Department of Defense earlier and earmarked for military housing subsidies. So instead of that, you're all getting Christmas bonuses. Feed the poors. So make sure you break that check up into 12 equal $148 bundles because, like Marlo said, price of a brick's going up.
So first of all, I do like the fact that he comes out, he's like, these mother effers try to keep me on script, but I figured out something brand new that I'm going to toss out here. It's like, God, Grandpa's rambling again. And I do love the fact that he's like, I'm going to take money away that was already allocated for you. I'm going to put my big ugly face on it, and I'm going to ram it down your throat as a benefit. It's the same thing you did with taxes. He's like, every time you pay, like you paid less in each paycheck. Like, look, I saved $16. End of the year, you just got effed because your itemized deduction was way less. Like, well, it doesn't matter, but each week I got a nickel.
Yeah, when he started going off teleprompter and started being like, 30 minutes ago I thought of this, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I would feel bad for the handlers who I imagine tightened up and could have, if you would have crammed a lump of coal up them, they could have made a diamond in that moment. But then you remember, these are all terrible people too. So you know what? I hope it all gave you a heart attack.
Oh God, he's got to give a bonus to the January 6er, isn't he?
I don't know, man. After that Tim Walz R-word thing, you got to think every time he's like, you know what I just thought of? You're like, please don't say the N-word. Please don't say the N-word. Please don't say the N-word.
He's like a child, man. He just keeps pushing boundaries. He's like, what are you going to do? Like, go against me? Like, the Supreme Court said I can do whatever I want. Go F yourselves. We're running a little bit short on time. Let's speed this thing up. We got to talk about something. Like, Grandpa yesterday had his big speech. He was talking about all kinds of things. One of the things that really stood out to me, like, he's out there screaming, like, we need all of our stuff back. We need the oil and we need the land back from Venezuela. Like, and we're in the Christmas time. I know about the Grinch and how Grinch stole Christmas, but how Venezuela sneaks into America, steals our oil and land, drags it back to Venezuela, and no one bats an eye. I need to know more about that.
Yeah, it's physically impossible for them to steal our land in their country. But you know what? These are Trump rules. Logic need not apply.
It's wild. So I had to find out, like, why is he screaming about our land and our oil? Like, so a long time ago, we're out there. We're still drilling anywhere we could effing drill. Small, poor countries and everything. In 1976, Venezuela's like, hey, man, you guys are kind of taking advantage of us. So they went ahead and they nationalized it all. And they said, you know what? We're also keeping all your stuff that's here as penance for all the stuff you did to us. Technically, that was wrong. An international court said, hey, man, you owe Exxon about $1.6 billion. But one thing I did not know, and did you know this, that Chevron is technically still drilling down there right now?
I did not, but since I refuse to trust any sort of oil company, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. So apparently, like, they took Chevron stuff in the beginning too, but Chevron's like, hey man, let's just work out a deal. Like, you guys have the world's largest oil reserves, and we like your oil. Like, it's great, because if we have an oil spill here, we only got to give you a couple quarters here instead of Americans where we have to pay them millions. So they're actually still working down there. And my whole thing is, like, if you come into a country and abuse the natives so badly that they have a revolution that kicks you out of a country, like, if they take all your toys, like, that's on you. Just stop exploiting people.
Do you think Hernandez, who they just pardoned, had to send 400 million tons of cocaine here to pay that $1.6 billion settlement?
He's like, so what do you guys take? Like Cash App? Ben was like, drugs. Okay.
All right, so it's just business. That's why he got pardoned. See, now it all makes sense.
It's he actually just had to send 1 ton to Don Jr.'s house, and he then turned the half a ton that he got into crypto.
Hey, got to celebrate this new his third engagement in style, right?
Such a Christian man. Didn't they just send Guilfoyle overseas? Like, yeah, you're out of here. My boy's getting engaged to someone else.
Sorry, we found somebody who found a spot of Botex that wasn't taken up already. So
I will give Don Jr. a little bit of credit because he's actually. Is there a 20-year age difference between them?
it's got to be close.
I'm gonna look into that, but because I found out Cash Patel's girl, 20 years out. Like they all seem to have a thing for youngsters, but the Democrats are grooming.
Yeah, well, give her. And you know what? Not a bad looking girl. Not a bad looking girl at all. Within
Wait till she visits
one calendar year, she is going to look like she doesn't belong to the same species. They are going to inject her full of so much alien crap. And that's going to be the first wedding in the ballroom.
Yeah, that's going to be the Mar-a-Lago face, and it's actually only about a 9-year difference.
Yeah, well, I guess it's just Don looks so much older.
Well, those are cocaine years, buddy.
Yeah, everything's cool when you're speeding around. It's that stop that makes everything.
I do like it when he came out. He's like, a drug bag was found in the White House. Like, that's Hunter Biden Jr. Like, no, buddy, that's you.
Oh, well, glad to know he'll never have to work a day in his life. That's great for him. Vanity Fair released a 2-part interview this week about the Trump cabinet titled Susie Wiles, J.D. Vance, and the Junkyard Dogs, which sounds like a hilarious 80s cartoon, but it turns out it's just the most miserable people in America. The White House Chief of Staff of Trump's second term, Chris Whipple, the interviewer, didn't exactly make it a fluff piece, but he wasn't exactly stopping their lies and whatnot. So it's just kind of a parade of a-holes sort of sticking to the script while they allowed him to gloss over corruption and war crimes.
I actually started reading this thing since you mentioned it to me. Like the whole thing is like I started reading part 1 and I started looking at a couple articles and they're talking about Susie Wiles. Do you know who she's the daughter of?
No.
Pat Summerall.
Really?
The guy who did the voice of the NFL. So
Yeah.
she's there. And that's one of the things that it kind of hit them off together. Like when she first met Trump in the tower, he's like, oh, I know your dad. He's like, I know a lot about people by their genes. I'm like, wait a second. I was like, what other brand of people said they can judge people by genes?
Oh, who knew? There's a pretty good chance Pat Summerall was a flaming a-hole too. So it's another state-sanctioned article about how the real Earth Avengers, doing the Lord's work with zero pushback about this new admin and whatnot. But just when we needed a new hero arrives. And that hero's name is Christopher Anderson, and he is the photographer for this article. And if you haven't yet, I implore you, the most important thing you'll do this week, go look at the pictures that accompany this article. Every single shot makes this cabinet look absolutely insane.
I will say that it is not all just a fluff piece. They've come out and said different things about that.
No, it's not a big fluff piece, but it was definitely like the interview was, here's a question. Then they gave an answer and there's no follow-up pushback to be like, but isn't that a war crime though?
Well, some of the things I've started reading is part 1 again. And Susie over there, she's like, she's talking about, it was something about Elon, and I forget, let me see if I can scroll up to it, when they were talking about Elon, and she's like, yeah, that's just him when he's high. And then she was asked to describe Trump, he's like, he's got an alcoholic's personality. Yeah. Like, yeah, he doesn't think there's nothing he can't do. It's like, some of his stuff, and she since said, like, she never said the thing about Elon being on ketamine. And, like, the author's like, cool, here's an actual recording of you saying it.
Yes, but there was no, like, follow-up or pushback on anything that they did. That's why I'm saying it wasn't, like, a hard-hitting interview. It was a very much
When you've got someone digging their own grave, you don't get in their way. You want to tell me Elon's on ketamine and Trump has an alcoholic's personality? Couldn't have put it better myself.
Yeah, but let's say one of our great friends turned out to be a South African trillionaire who did whatever he could to ruin the country in 2 months. And during an interviewing somebody talking about it, and they're like, "Yeah, that's just him when he's high." There's the first question you would be like, "What do you mean? Please expand." And they're just like, "And next."
First of all, you got it all wrong, because I would be with that friend right now, spewing the most hate that I possibly could on his private yacht. So do not put me in that area.
Fair enough. All right. But our boy Chris shot Susie Wiles, and it looks like a mugshot. And he clearly told her to stare into the camera hard enough she can see a puppy being drowned. She
It's a wild
looks
shot.
bat-ass insane. Really kind of
Always
makes you think what Pat Summerall was doing all those years.
Well, Pat was apparently an alcoholic.
You know what? I would too if my kid came out looking like that.
21 years sober before he died, though. I'll give him credit. He did go to rehab.
Well, you get the okay for me for being the voice of the NFL, but
Yeah.
for raising that miserable woman, that's, have fun in hell.
Do you think you wrote the whole auto win comes in like an actual, like, whatever it is, it's about one of his drunken escapades on his wife?
The autumn wind was that devil child of his showing up to eventually grow up and ruin America.
As he kicks in the door, he's got the music playing.
Yeah, he just came to wails on her with a belt, and now we have to deal with it for the rest of our lives.
Jesus.
Did you see the photo of Pee Wee German?
Looking at it right now, did you hear the backstory about him?
I did not.
So apparently, like, he's sitting there in front of a camera, and he's asking him, he's like, "Hey man, what do you think I should do? Should I smile? Should I look presentable?" He's like, "I don't know." He's like, "Whatever." He's like, "Maybe a little bit of both." He's like, "Oh, good idea." So he tries to do that, but he looks like one of the lizard people, so he won't notice it from there. And he comes over and he talks to the photographer. He's like, "Oh, you can be, you have a lot of rights over people. You can be compassionate over how you do things for them." And the guy looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, you too, man."
Love it. They must have told him, "We want you to sit on this couch." And this must have been the first time he's ever sat on a couch. How do you fail at sitting? It looks so awkwardly weird. I can't explain it. I'm not articulate enough. But
Have you
he's
tried doing it
failing
with a
at
lizard
sitting
tail?
on a couch.
The man's got a lizard tail and his lizard tongue. Neither one of them are showing, so it's tough to sit on a couch and hold your tongue in.
Either that or he was directly behind JD in the photo shoot. It's just covered in splooge.
Which side?
I'm guessing he got Dan Scavino to hoover an 8-ball, wait 15 minutes, and then told him pigeons aren't real, but rather elaborate recording devices that Biden released into major cities in order to give children sex changes, because he looks geeked out of his...
We broke up there for a second, but the way that the picture I've got here, he essentially looks like Brian Maynard from Tool. It's kind of like a side shot.
No,
and if
no,
I'd have known...
Keep scrolling down. Keep scrolling down until he is facing the camera sitting at a table.
Oh, that's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, like at the end. But the one where it looks like he's Brian Maynard of Tool looks like he's also in a Caribbean nation, and he's thinking about getting his hair braided. Like he's halfway done, but he's just not sure about it.
Yeah, that was a bad one. I feel like they were going too artsy on that one. But the one where he's sitting at a table just staring like he's contemplating pigeons aren't being real, he looks absolutely out of his mind.
They called him the caddy. He's like, "Hey man, he used to carry his golf clubs." Like, Jesus, and now he's doing what?
Yeah, speaking of DEI, you got your caddy from 20 years ago doing this job.
Yeah.
What's next? Bringing in podcasters to run major divisions of the government?
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. But my favorite so far, KK Carolyn Levitt. Old City Miles. They got this shot so close in that if you squint, it looks like the aftermath of trying to give what was left over after a circumcision 9 Botox shots. She's getting roasted so hard. All I've been reading on Twitter is whoever injects her Botox clearly hates her.
Well, unless you're Paulina Luna, because she's like, "She is the most beautiful White House press secretary ever." And when I saw that picture, I saw a heroin addict, and like the only veins I've got working are right here in my lips.
That's the blonde that like can't shut her eyes if she tried, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that looks. I thought the first time that popped up, it was Iggy Pop in drag.
Don't you dare badmouth Iggy.
Hey, I love Iggy just as much as the next guy. I 100% thought that was Iggy Pop.
Last for a life.
Well, if pictures are worth 1,000 words, Chris Anderson just wrote his masterpiece because he made these people look exactly the way they were supposed to, like absolute villains out of their mind.
I mean, you can't take a dunk on the guy just because you don't like your own photo. Like, he's also the guy who did pictures of Trump for the Time magazine article. Like, that's the one that went on the cover. Like, you guys were fine with that one. Like, yeah, everything Trump does is fine.
How dare you hold a mirror up to us and see what we look like?
Like, a lot of the people are angry. Like, oh, well, what is this down here? It's like, no, those are her lips. He's like, well, you didn't do anything in Photoshop? He's like, no,
Nope.
I didn't do it for any of you. Like, that's on you, homie.
This is your stupid face you paid to have modified. Yeah. This is you. You did this. This is your cross to bear.
Do you think coming back from Christmas break, they're just going to be even more like Mongoloid after going to the Botox guy?
Buddy, I hope Chris Anderson puts his own article out and just zooms in farther.
It's just a microscope camera. Like, you can see the specks of coke up Donald Jr.'s nose.
Exactly.
It's not what it looks like.
Getting mad as you want. These are your faces. This is what you've done. Sometimes the Emperor's new clothes are really just nothing.
You're supposed to adjust it to where we like it.
How dare you hold a mirror up and let everybody see exactly what I'm doing and what I look like?
Is this going to be the reason we no longer have free press in 2026? Is because these a-holes had their faces published normally?
I don't know. I feel like they've done a pretty good job of getting rid of it in 2025. So...
Well, we'll see what the next year brings. And before that, I believe, let's see what we got. At least two more episodes left?
Probably one.
All right, fair enough.
Thursday's Christmas.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, happy Chanukah, everybody. I'm Alex Midway. L'chaim.
And I'm Eric Halsey. Go read that Vanity. Don't read Vanity Fair. Just look at the pictures. Later, Gators.